This is Chef Anita at Wannabe Chef, and I welcome you to my beautiful kitchen. I know some of you have heard me say that, but yes, I truly do love my kitchen. So today, what are we doing? I am teaching you a Japanese influenced bowl. And in the recent years, bowl foods have become really popular in the United States. And because they're just so healthy, it's so many things put together in just one dish meal. And yeah, they're amazing, I think. So let's get started. I am teaching you, like I said, a Japanese influenced bowl, and I have kept it actually really, this one happens to be really low in carbs. All my recipes I do not promise are necessarily low in carbs. I would like them to be, but yes, this is plant-based, and at the same time it's very low in carbs. So great. And I think very often it's hard to find recipes that will be plant-based and low in carbs. So let's get started. I am using a zucchini today, and what I'm going to do is make zoodles. I know you can buy these ready, but I happen to have a spiralizer, so I do love making my own zoodles. And what I'm going to do is I've already washed this really well. So here's my zucchini. I'm just going to cut off the end. I do not peel it. The end off, the two ends. And it's a beautiful, nice zucchini that recently picked up at the farm. It's season now. We're getting closer to summer. I don't know what time of the year you're watching that, but it is spring here in New Jersey. Okay, so here we are, and get started with my zoodles. And yeah, there we go. Perfect. And because I'm using my spiralizer on a cutting board, I have to hold it, but if I had really kept it on my counter, it would have stuck with the suction cups. But that's okay for now because I do need my cutting board. And look at these beautiful zoodles. Look at that. It's just zucchini. There we go. So you can really do this with so many different vegetables, and it could be like all colors. And you know, I'm gonna do some carrot today that I had peeled earlier for something else, and I'm gonna show you the carrot too because it just looks so pretty. I'm just pushing my carrot really hard, go this way. And yeah, sometimes for the carrot you have to get a little bit more stronger. There we go with the carrot. Perfect. Okay, so we have some carrots and some zucchini. Okay, there we go. Here's my bowl of spiralized carrots and zucchini. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what's the next. So that's my noodles done. I have a broth on the stove boiling, and I'm gonna just take some cauliflower. This happens to be my recent favorite. It's called collini some places, and it's really a sweet stem cauliflower, but look how pretty it is. It's really gorgeous looking. Look at it. Looks like flowers in the garden. So I'm really making a serving now for one person so I can show you. So here we go with the cauliflower. I'm gonna just like slice it, not really thin. You don't want to rice it, but all I'm doing is slicing my cauliflower to nice little strips like that. There we go. Just one piece is good. And I happen to have beautiful oyster mushrooms. These are just so beautiful. They're called maitake sometimes, and I do pick them up at the Asian food store, and I happen to love these. Okay, now when you're making this bowl, feel free to substitute any other vegetables that you have at home and that happen to be your favorite. But I love mushrooms. I love this collini, so I'm really looking forward to this tonight because I'm working with some of my favorite vegetables. There we go. Just cut up these mushrooms, pretty slices. It's nice to take your time and cut your vegetables pretty because, believe me, to me, this is just personal therapy, okay? I love cutting my vegetables nicely. I really, really, truly enjoy this process. So there we go. I have this done now. Here we are. And I had some pretty peppers. Look at these baby peppers. So look at these babies, I should say, right? Aren't they pretty? Just cut the top off, and again, slice my pepper. Okay, take the seeds out. This one hardly had any seeds. And just look at the colors. So you have, try to use, when you're working with your vegetables, try to use different colors. It definitely will make your food so much more appetizing. So we have a little bit of this brownish beige. Have here the orange of the peppers, right? And I think that's enough vegetables. I could have used snow peas, but I think I have enough going on here, okay? So I have a broth I've been working on all day. I had this miso, just plain water, miso, a seaweed called arame, which is actually on Amazon also, gives it a nice kind of ocean broth feel. And this white fungus, which is really good for you. It almost has the same benefits as eating bone broth. And a dry mushroom, dry shiitake mushroom. So the saltiness of the miso, you always have to be careful that you do not add. I'm trying to find a mushroom, the dry shiitake, so I can show you what it looks like. Let me show you a scoop of the soup, okay? This is what this broth looks like. This is the arame, which is a seaweed, which I put in there. This white stuff that you see is the white dry fungus. And let me show you a shiitake. My soup's so hot that I can't. This is a dry shiitake mushroom, okay? So I had this like just boiling into a nice broth, and everything in there is totally edible. And while I was cutting the vegetables, I forgot to show you, I had pressed out some tofu for a few hours. This was just firm tofu that I pressed out between 2 plates. And I'm gonna use a little bit of that, cut into small cubes with my veggies, okay? That's all I'm doing is cutting the tofu into little cubes. That's it. That's enough for now. And here's my pan heating up. And all I'm gonna do this, so the vegetables are gonna stay really simple because our broth has a lot of flavor with the miso and the shiitake mushrooms and the arame seaweed and the white fungus. So we can't add too much flavor to our veggies. So just a bit of oil, okay? That's about a teaspoon or less, maybe a half teaspoon of oil. And first I'm going to add in my tofu. There we go, little tofu bits. Okay. So it's actually really a simple dish, but believe me, it is so tasty. You really got to try it. And if you don't have all the ingredients like I showed you the broth, you could use a ready broth or just a miso base would be good enough. You don't have to add the seaweed, you don't have to add, you could even add just regular nori, split it up, tear it up into small pieces and add it in your broth, and some miso paste and water. And that's perfect. That would make a perfect broth too. You don't have to have all the ingredients that I told you. I like to make life very simple. Don't get complicated if you don't have something. So here's my tofu cooking, as you can see. To this, I'm going to add my halloumi on one side. I like to cook my vegetables in sections on my pan, so each one kind of gets its little space and section. And also I love looking at the colors, you know, some of them together. And it just, for me, it's so much fun to work with color. Here we go. There we are. See that? All the colors of the veggies, they're cooking on my stove. And I have my stove on a high heat because we're really not looking to make these veggies super soft. Just give a quick stir fry and they're picking up color. Look at the tofu, it's picking up color. I'll take out one piece. See that? How it got the tofu? Picks up color. The mushrooms get some sear in it. And that's about it. You really don't need to do a whole lot with this. I'm gonna now add a little bit of salt. Season it with salt as we go along. There's some salt. And a tad bit of black pepper. If you like, actually this is not black, this is white pepper. I love working with white pepper when I'm working with vegetables like that. And that's it. I'm gonna turn it off because it's gonna carry over cooking in the hot pan. Now how fast was that? Your vegetables are nicely seared. You don't need to do more. That's the fun part of working with veggies, guys. you don't have to worry, oh, is my meat cooked or no. Now I'm going to show you, this is my topping sauce. To this, what I really have to do is I add a little bit of rice vinegar in the bowl. I'm mixing up my sauce. That's like a tablespoon of rice vinegar. Actually, I'm going to be making a lot more extra because I make it and keep it. So that's about 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. A teaspoon of ponzu. Ponzu is like a sour lemon sauce. If you don't have ponzu, you can go ahead and use lemon juice. That's fine. But I like the flavors of ponzu. A tablespoon of ponzu. There we go. Gives it a nice tart in, yummy taste. This is my soy sauce. If you don't use soy sauce, go ahead and use tamari or coconut aminos. So the soy sauce was like a teaspoon, and a teaspoon of sesame oil. And I have some cooking wine. So just a teaspoon of the cooking wine. And I'm going to add just a tad bit of honey because that's it. That's like a 1/4 teaspoon. You really don't want this sauce to be sweet. And my family loves spicy. So I have a 1/4 or an 1/8 of a teaspoon of sriracha. I have here some black sesame seeds, which I'll show you at the very end. So that's it. This is my sauce. And yes, I am going to add some ginger, which I will just grate right over my sauce. This is a great dipping sauce, guys. So it's a real easy dipping sauce. There's my ginger, which is like 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. And I have some green scallions, which I will use as my topping, as my garnish. Okay, so that's it. Just taste your sauce. Perfect. Now to this, I'm going to add my zoodles, my veggie zoodles first to my bowl. They're so nice and long. I have to rip them a little bit. There we go. And take a little bit more of the carrot. And we have my veggie zoodles. So that's my noodle base. And you can see. To this, I first will add the hot broth. Oh my God, my broth spoon got really hot. But here we go. I'm going to stir up the broth, and I'm going to add some steaming hot broth to my zoodles because that cooks the zoodles right away. Okay? This way I didn't have to. My zucchini was raw, guys. Here we go. Look how pretty it's already looking. To that, I'm going to add my veggies. Pick up my veggies and take my vegetables with the tofu and all the veggies and add that to my, right, there we go, it's done. And to this, I'm going to top it off with my homemade sauce, right? This little sprinkle gives it that sour, sweet, and spice. I'm going to take a few of my cut up scallions that I did, some green onion, sprinkle some on top. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of black sesame seeds. I love black sesame seeds, guys. I really do. Because I think it just completes the dish, the garnish. And here we go. It is ready. Dinner is ready. And there is your bowl, your Japanese inspired bowl. It was so simple with tons of veggies, super nutritious. And yes, guys, I didn't really use any noodles. I tricked you. If you really love rice, you could have added rice or brown rice to this, but I'm trying to stay off carbs as much as possible and still be a vegetarian. So here we are, really simple. Enjoy this. Please join us at the link below. Check out our link and let us know how you enjoyed it. And we'd love to see you again. I have tons of recipes on my YouTube channel. So look us up, and this is our Japanese inspired bowl, and it's a perfect dinner for any evening, a weekday evening. Use any vegetables that you have in your refrigerator. Don't be afraid, the vegetables won't bite, but just look how pretty is this bowl. I think it's gorgeous. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.